What's up, everybody? My name is Tristan, and I'm sitting here in my truck in an empty parking lot surrounded by some woods and shit to introduce myself in this channel that I'm looking to start. I essentially, I guess I'm just doing like a vlog, document what's going on in my head and my thoughts and whatnot, because I enjoy talking to people about certain things that a lot of people don't really enjoy having conversations about, at least at the times that I want to talk about them. And that's okay. You know, I can't force anybody to want to talk about anything, but essentially what I see in the world is probably similar to what everybody else sees in the world, and that's a lot of suffering going on. And it has been that way since the beginning of documented history. But I like to think that there are people that have made an effort towards minimizing that suffering. And I've been working on doing that for myself for the last few years, and now I would like to share the things that I've been doing, the things that help me personally, and maybe do my part to work on this problem that's been here since the beginning. So yeah, I'm going to talk about a bunch of shit that is important to me. I might write things down beforehand so I'm more clearly able to communicate. Or I might do like I'm doing right now and just kind of go off the top of my head. But I did write down in my notebook like the purposes for doing this, just to make sense to myself and then make sense to anybody watching. I don't have my notebook with me right now because I just went to get Taco Bell and I'm just chilling in the parking lot. I figured, why not? There's nobody here, so I can talk in the way that I can project more vocally, which I like that a lot. I took some videos in my apartment and I think I was just trying to be quiet so I'm not to bother my neighbors and whatnot. So here I can just talk, and I like that. But what I remember from the purposes for doing this, one, for me, it's a challenge for myself to put myself out there, to face my own fear of judgment, between judgment from myself and others, because that's something I think we all feel, is judgment from ourselves and from others, and also to confront the judgment I have towards others and myself. And that's something I want to actively work on. So I feel like this is a really good way to face that fear and work on my own nature of judgment and whatnot. So yeah, I fully expect to be made fun of and criticized and ridiculed for the things I do and say in these videos, and that's kind of the point. So don't be afraid to judge me because if you're not, I'm judging myself. So I'll do it for you. Number two reason for doing this is for the sake of creation, to create something, another thing. You know, I like to paint, I like to create music, I like to create in a whole lot of different ways, and now this is just another way for me to create and for self-expression. So I think self-expression is really important for self. For you to know yourself, I believe you need to express yourself so you can see in what ways it's kind of like seeing your thoughts in front of you, and you can reflect then on your thoughts. And I think that's important because the thoughts that you have aren't who you are, but they're a reflection of how you feel. And if I can see in front of me how it is I'm feeling, then I can see the parts that I like, the feelings that I like, the feelings that I don't like, and the feelings that I want to work on. especially too, like say for painting, which I just started doing a couple months ago. Didn't expect to really like it much, but I stopped focusing on how the picture would turn out, right? I focused instead on just the feeling of brush on canvas. And I would do very simple designs with the brush. I would do X's or slashes or whatever else came to mind at the time. I like doing infinity symbols just over and over and over and over without ever actually picking the brush up, just because I enjoy the feeling of doing it. And in doing that, what's interesting is by picking a random pattern and just committing to that for however long I feel like, sometimes I'll see something in those patterns that then I can turn into something that actually looks like something. And I think that's an interesting way to go about creating, and I like to think of it as a way for our own subconscious mind to sort of come out into the center stage for ourselves, because what you see in those patterns is a reflection of what your own inner thoughts see, you know? So anyways, this is just an introduction video. I'll be doing some videos where I'm painting and just kind of talking out loud while doing that. Might go into some of my own history at some point. I'm gonna post music that I've done. I'll post probably the paintings that I do and shit. But yeah, I did a lot of overthinking as far as how I was gonna make this first video, thinking like, what are all the key concepts I needed to cover? Like, I want to make sure I'm hitting all these notes and whatnot. But I think this was the best way to do it. Just, what's up, dude? I'm Tristan. I want to make some videos. If you watch them, sweet. I hope you enjoy them. If not, sweet. I hope you enjoy whatever you are doing. I forgot to go into the other purposes and whatnot, which that's why having a notebook here would help. But I guess the point is there's many purposes for me doing this, just as there's many purposes for me doing pretty much anything. And there will be purposes to be determined. I'm sure as time goes on and the more I do this, I'll start to see purposes of it that weren't intentional. And I'm excited to see that. And yeah, I'm excited to learn and grow with you. Hopefully, I don't know, if I can get one person that finds some value in this, then that will be a huge plus. And if not, then I'm doing it for me, you know? A big thing for me is consciousness. The idea of how well, first, what is consciousness and how it is influencing our daily lives and our own perceptions of reality, and the benefit of working on where your state of consciousness is at. If you work on a loving state of consciousness, if you learn to love yourself, or if I learn to love myself, one, any outside external judgment, criticism, hatred, any negative thing outside of myself can't hurt me, because I don't need that external source to be positive. All of that positivity is already within me, and I'm connected to that positivity. So it's almost like being, I don't know, unaffected by external negative shit. And there's a lot of external negative shit, as I'm sure we all know. So, two, to have that self-love, you then have the ability to put out into the world your own love. And what's interesting about the world is it's very reflective. You put negativity out, you get negativity back. If I'm being a total asshole to you and I'm just calling you shit names or whatever, you're a piece of crap, blah blah blah, you're probably not gonna give me a bouquet of flowers next time you see me. You're probably not gonna treat me with a whole lot of love and respect because I'm not treating you with that love and respect. But if I do treat you lovingly and I listen to what you have to say and I make sure you know you are heard and loved, you still could treat me like a piece of crap, but I would know it's not about me because I did my part and meant it. If you then still treat me negatively, then I know that you are basing those actions on ways you feel about yourself. And vice versa. If I'm treating you negatively, it's because I feel negative about myself. But the higher probability is if I'm treating you or you're treating me with love and compassion, the opposite is likely to also be with love and compassion. So another big purpose of doing this is to talk about that a lot. Like in one way or another, there's going to be a tangent to that core message in most of these videos. And also just to challenge myself to focus on that daily, to remember to pay attention to a loving state of consciousness for myself, because I forget all the time. Life is full of distractions and I forget to be thoughtful sometimes, to be considerate, to be compassionate, to be empathetic. I forget. And I like to, again, minimize the amount that I forget, because I feel like there's a very strong parallel between forgetting to be compassionate, loving, thoughtful, that parallels to the suffering I'm also trying to help minimize. And yeah, this is my intro video. I'm Tristan. This is called Tea Talks. I might name the channel Presenting Present Tea, because that's another objective, is to be more present. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I love you. I love you. Bye.